gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, it's time!
And welcome everyone to the Circle of Big Iron and KIQN's Championship on the Line MMA podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on this hot summertime here in Los Angeles. Not Los Angeles, Los Angeles. All right. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. The host, Stevie YBC, with my other host, Mi Familia, the greatest one of all time right here that owns this show, that runs it all, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, the host with the most from the West Coast, sorry, Papi Chulo himself, the man who rocks out with us, you know what? The director himself, Chris Kennedy.
What is going on, man?
What's going on? And of course, the man that brings that rage in that cage, ladies and gentlemen. He brings it to you, and he shows you definitely, and you got to train with him, especially you got to follow and subscribe, especially to Iron. Iron, ladies and gentlemen, the phenomenal one himself. Because he's the phenomenal one, Coach Rich. What's going on, Coach?
What's up?
What is going on? Love it. Yes. Happy Wednesday. And yes, we are here to go ahead and speak about what happened this past Saturday in Utah. And wow, it was just, I guess it was one of, by far, a great pay-per-view. But, you know, it had its ups and downs, but a lot of unexpected. I mean, I didn't expect. I gotta digress on some, but we'll get into it. And we're here to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. UFC 291, right there. Poirier, Gaethje 2, Blachowicz, and Paella, whatever they call him nowadays. I have no idea what they call him. What do they call him nowadays? I have no idea.
Pereira. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Botan.
Okay,
Botan, yeah. It means the hardwood tree or something.
Is that what it is supposed to be?
I don't know. I forget. That might be something else. I'll Google it while you're talking.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to cover the recap, of course. This
Forehand. That's right. Forehand. That was close.
Forehand. Okay, yes. We're here to cover this. That's right. Here are KC2, the whole pay-per-view card. There you go. I can't play too much because
we'll get copy struck.
Yeah, yes, we get copy struck. So we don't want to get into it. No. So right, let's get into the main card, gentlemen. I mean, one of the preliminary cards moved up to the main card because I guess there was a little unexpected occasion that occurred. Director, if you want to break it down, what happened?
Yeah, Michel Pereira, the other Pereira on the card, missed weight by so much that it wasn't worth him trying to lose more weight, or for Stephen Thompson to take the 30% weight cut punishment purse. I think that's a smart move for Stephen Thompson because I think he would have been the much smaller man to begin with. He's not a big welterweight, even in the welterweight division. So I think hopefully this fight gets rebooked and Michel makes weight because this is, like I said last week, this is a video game fight waiting to happen, and I hope that it does.
Absolutely. I hope it does happen because I was really intrigued of seeing that fight, to be honest.
Yeah, I was very, very sad about that, not making the pay-per-view cut.
But Lewis got on the main card, so
Yes,
that
silver lining.
should have been the way that he should have been there anyways. His former title contender.
True that.
I think Kevin Holland and Chiesa should have been the prelim main event. They should have been selling the pay-per-view with that fight, and Derek should have been on the main card to begin with.
I agree. I wonder why they didn't do that.
I don't know. I think Rogerio de Lima maybe not that big of a pay-per-view draw. And so I think they were just relegating Derek down there. He's coming off of like 3 losses in a row, I think, or at least 3 out of his last 4. So that makes enough sense for me, right? Just looking at the logistics of it.
Absolutely. That could be the case. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into the first fight of the card. Of
Yeah,
course.
speaking of the Maverick and Kevin Holland.
Right. This is the one that I did not expect to hear. The welterweight bout, of course, Michael Chiesa versus, of course, Kevin Holland. Holland with the win in the first round submission. Yeah, baby. I love it. And I just wanted to say very brief on this that I like how Kevin Holland, I want that, it's just overall he wants that BMF title. Everything is just this guy, anything what he wants, as a matter of fact, to be honest. And I know Michael has been away quite some time, just came back from recovery course. But Kevin Holland's something else. I just didn't expect it to be this end quickly, in my opinion, honestly. Did not expect this at all.
Right. Yeah.
So, man, director, break it down, my brother.
Yeah, wow. So 2-year layoff for Michael Chiesa. They say, Dominic Cruzley says the ring rust is a myth. And I guess it's only in the head of the fighter whether or not they're mentally ready to return after a layoff like that. Kevin Holland definitely was not going to let ring rust affect Chiesa. He took him out fast. He was gung-ho, hit him with a bunch of flush knees. He even clinched with him up against the cage. And then when Chiesa did clinch with him, Kevin Holland effortlessly was able to spin him and put his back up against there, pop those knees. He had said in the post-fight press conference that he knows that when Chiesa feels compromised, he makes big mistakes. So all he had to do was make Chiesa put himself into a bad position, and he did. He kneed him. He dropped for the single right into the darce. Kevin Holland actually has a lot more submission wins than I think people are talking about. He's got 7 wins by submission. And I think most of the time Chiesa loses by submission, it's to the darce, which ironically enough is the move that he also, I think, is supposed to be getting most of the time. I've seen already he's got like 3 or 4 of them on his record, but he's also lost that many times to the move. I'm still impressed with Kevin Holland and getting her done with that finish. Having fight IQ in there, as wild man as he is, he knew to not play the game. He knew to just go for the kill. He did not have any hesitation in finishing the fight. And then we saw the gloves come off for Chiesa. He took them off. He laid him in the middle of the cage, and sad to see him go. I remember him watching him on Ultimate Fighter, his first fight, up until he won the Ultimate Fighter the night, I think, after or the day of that his father died, or his father died in the house. He was in the house when his father died. He dedicated that season to his dad, and he won that season. And, however many years later we're watching him retire, it's been a wild ride for him, man. So it's good to see.
Did he officially retire?
The gloves came off, and I feel like he laid him in the middle of the octagon. And to me, that's an official, until otherwise. And we'll talk about someone else who took the gloves off, but did not retire a few fights down the road.
Oh my God!
But until I see otherwise, I'm kind of assuming. I think, in my opinion, Chiesa is due for one more. This could just be the ring rust they talk about. It's been 2 years. Give him someone who's completely not ranked, make him a gatekeeper even. See how he fares against someone not as on fire as Kevin Holland is right now, I guess.
Right. I'm with you on that. The phenomenal one. The floor is yours.
If he did retire, it's absolutely the right move. I think he does actually well in the broadcast booth.
I love him in the booth. Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, man, you got a career there that doesn't zap your brain cells, doesn't make you old beyond your age, doesn't cripple you, So
True.
Very, very true.
Director talked about how Holland looked good and was impressive. I'm going to talk about Chiesa looking like dog shit.
Thank you.
My God. Hey.
The IQ man right here, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Bakley, ladies and gentlemen. Cage Mikey, what's going on?
Something Michael Chiesa could have used.
Yeah.
Director's breaking it. The coach is breaking it down right now. See where it goes.
Did everything wrong. Everything. I don't know. Maybe I was remembering the wrong guy. I don't think the sport has changed that much since he started, and it hasn't changed that much in the past 2 years. you don't block knees with your face. That's like the first thing that he did wrong
Blocks 2 of them.
with his face. Like, what are you doing? Didn't dig underhooks. Didn't have proper head position up against the cage. Like, these are in MMA. These are like rudimentary mistakes. I don't want to say white belt mistakes because no such thing as a white belt in MMA, and that's overstating it. But they're mistakes that he should not have been making. Someone at his level with any ranking, head position, that's something you learn early on and you fight for it. Underhooks, you fight for them. Not blocking your knee with your face, I don't know when you learn that, but it's pretty early. And then he rolled into the Darce, rolled the wrong direction and made the Darce worse. Okay. Homeboy just got kneed in the face. He probably didn't know where he was. But the Darce is not one of the higher probability submissions in MMA. You get a rear naked choke locked on, that's it. It's done. You get a good guillotine, there's problems. But if you lose your guillotine, you're in a bad spot, usually. The Darce is not a high probability. You got to lock that shit up. They got to give you some before you can really put them out. That wasn't locked up until he rolled into it and tightened it on himself. Kevin Holland was like, "Thank you." Yeah, it was. Yeah, I really ring rust or other time to stop. And I hope he did retire. I hope putting the gloves in the center was official. And I enjoy him as a broadcaster. He speaks well. He has a good understanding. He's not annoying as fuck like Dominic Cruz. So I wish him the best, and I hope he stops fighting, and I hope he keeps commentating.
Absolutely, indeed. Shout out to Smack and Raw. Matt Ritter, what's going on, Ritter? Appreciate you, brother. And by the way, subscribe to them. They're moving to Saturdays, ladies and gentlemen, so make sure you follow.
She got mad at me last time I did that.
Oh, really? Bagley, take it away. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I'm not going to take too much time because this didn't really last that long. So there's not much to talk about.
Talking about the fight shouldn't last longer than the fight. That's how.
I'm just gonna say I did say he was gonna win by submission. So
you did say that.
He's trying to pull a Jalen Turner now, where it's like now that he's training jiu-jitsu, he makes it a point to want to win by that and to showcase it a little bit. And I think he's finally found a spot where he can actually benefit from the reach advantage, the height advantage, everything that he's given, because Chiesa just gave it to him. He just gave him the advantage right away. He didn't have to work for it. He got it, and he got inside. Just like he said, he took the knee. I don't know why you're going to allow yourself to get hit with the knee. And then he just locked it on. He just locked it in right away. And then when
he was hungry.
He was hungry.
Maybe he cut too much weight. Sorry.
But then I saw Kevin Holland lead him over, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's leading him over like that. But then he just allowed it to happen and tapped. And this is a guy that trains in that. This is a guy, that's what they bring him in for, is that. So, like, I was baffled about it, but then I got to give props to Kevin Holland for the work that he's done since moving down. He's actually put the work in. He's actually looking like a decent grappler where he defended the takedown. He's doing what he needs to do. So, and he made it happen.
No, absolutely. I mean, then him, especially getting the coach, and then not only that, I mean, they mentioned that they actually did film watching. Correct me if I'm wrong here, gentlemen. I mean, it's rare for me to hear that in MMA world, and especially in the Octagon. When you hear that, it's rare when you mention that. And for Holland to say that, I was like, okay, all right, I see. It's just rare for me. But definitely, I mean, in rankings, I mean, he is currently now 12th, and he's number 12. I don't know if they have it updated 100%. Director, you want to confirm that for me? Because it looks like
I'm looking at. Well, did anyone become new champion at all? That's the best way to see who got updated.
yeah.
No, they didn't.
Besides Coach, he's already the champ.
No, no.
Welter Kevin was not ranked, and now he's 12 as of the rankings I'm reading right now. Like he has to drop 3, so I'm assuming these are updated.
Yeah, he's at 15 now. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Yes, that is updated then. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Let's move on into the second fight, the one you were mentioning about. And that is, of course, in the lightweight division, of course, the lightweight bout. Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green. Of course, Green with a win on the 3rd round submission. And I said this last week. This man needs to retire. This man needs to put his gloves, literally say, I am completely done. And did not say that.
It's not going to be up to him at this point.
I know. I don't think so either. I don't know what direction Dana White's going to go with Ferguson at this point. I mean, what is it to prove it at this point for Ferguson? I mean, he's been, 0-6 for the last how many years now?
Yes. So Dan Hardy only had 4 losses in a row. The record, I think, is Keith Jardine at 5. Let me double check that.
What, in a row?
Yeah.
Sam
Keith
Alvey had
Jardine
7.
had 5 in a row.
Sam Alvey had 7 or 8.
Oh, he does, right?
5. Sam Alvey's at 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then they demoted him, and then he got another fight a month later.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, Sam Alvey had a draw in the between those, so not a 7-fight loss streak.
Oh, that counts as a loss.
But hold on, there's one more name that nobody knows.
Okay.
And I'm going to see, before I go to Wikipedia, I'm going to look at Coach's face because he has no what fucking clue I'm talking about. There's a fighter named Ryan Jensen from the UFC who I think has a pretty solid streak too. Let me see what he has. He at least has like the most submission losses in the UFC. Let me see what his actual record is here. 1, 2. He had three in a row and then 2 in a row, but they were all sub losses. So he has like 9 sub losses in UFC history, but not a streak. So Tony Ferguson, congratulations. You've broken another record. 6 losses in a row, my guy.
It's Jesus, man.
If you take away that draw, Sam Alvey has 8.
Well, yeah, but you don't take away the draw because that's not a loss. That's like if you take
It's
away
not a win. It's not a win.
It's not a loss. Exactly, it's not a loss.
Well, go ahead.
Chris Lytle was doing pretty bad. Chris Lytle might have a streak. I don't think it's going to be 6 though. I don't even think it's going to be 4. It's 2. All right. Hey, I found the top 3 streaks in the game. So,
but continue. I mean, give us your thoughts. I mean,
yeah. I mean, Tony wasn't looking great until the end, and then he looked real bad. So the only thing I can give Tony credit in this fight is if you're going to be tough, you got to be dumb. And he was walking him down the whole time, but he was walking into everything and loading up on his looping weird jabs where he goes like that the whole time.
Yeah.
And Bobby Green just kept focused and kept popping him down the middle. And those fucking Imanari rolls that Tony may have been decent at one time were just now telegraphed. It looked like me going for him on Coach. You can see them coming a mile away. And, you know, Bobby Green had said he had trained to escape those Imanari rolls. And we saw that at the end of the fight where he was able to bypass it, dodge guard, and then get a fucking head and arm choke. His first submission in like 25 years because he had debuted with a submission win and haven't had one since. People forget Bobby Green was wrestling in Affliction, man. So that's how long he's been in the damn game.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Is this a resurgence of Bobby Green? Do we see him moving anywhere in the rankings? I don't think he got ranked in this fight unless he already was ranked.
Let me check on that. I'm checking it out.
I have it up here too. I don't even know what division this was. Was it 70 or 55?
Lightweight. I got it up right now.
No, he's not.
He's not there. No.
Yeah. So,
But then again,
he
Ferguson wasn't ranked, so
he didn't even.
That's right.
Debut in the rankings. That's how fall the stock of Ferguson has been. You know, so beating a former champ gets you nowhere. And for what's next for Bobby Green, I give him someone in the 15. The dude's, you know, showing up, showing out, and doing the best he can to keep his job. So we'll see. Give him that Jared Gordon rematch.
All right. Bakley, what do you give us your thoughts, brother?
He was just a step too fast. Just like I said, these are two guys that like to do the same thing. They don't block. They just come in there and scrap. And with this one, Bobby Green was the faster guy. He beat him to the punch every time. He hiked up the volume. And then in round 3, when Ferguson was slowing down, Bobby Green always, like I said before last week, Bobby Green's always sharp in the 3rd round. He's always strong. He's always going. He pushes at them because he knows his opponent half the time is not going to keep the pace that he does because he doesn't get tired. And then he just kept it going. And instead of being okay with just going to the decision, he wanted that finish. And you saw that because there was like 5 seconds left, and he's still trying to crank. He's trying to crank. He wanted that finish, and he got it. And that's what it is. Ferguson just is missing something. Like it's just that it factor that has just diminished from him. He was the guy that could scare people, and he made himself look like a champion. Now he's just nothing. He was just like, so
weird. He was weird and unorthodox until he got. I mean, I can't say that like until they figured him out because it took 12 fights, like 5 years to figure him out. There's just something in his je ne sais quoi, his energy levels, his snap, his pop, his creativity. It's just his brain isn't responding with what his physical talents are.
No, definitely. Phenomenal one. Take it away.
Handle it. Let us know how much you love these guys.
Well,
I mean, you said you're friends with Bobby Green, right?
I'm friends with both of them. Well, friends is a strong term. I'm acquainted with both of them, and both of them were extremely cool to me. So I feel bad talking shit. Ferguson, Gaethje, after Gaethje, he was never the same. That kind of damage, and Tony, he already is on the edge with the mental health anyway.
6 losses in 3 years is wild.
Fucking
wild. I can't believe
and the fact that the company kept him around because he's entertaining. He has a huge following.
Look at this. He beat fucking Pettis and Cerrone.
Yep.
Like his last 2 wins. Those are, championship level material.
Yep.
Dos Anjos, fucking Barbosa.
He was El Cucuy, right? And so
6 years undefeated. I'm sorry, it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah. So the company keeps him around, and he's too tough for his own good. And he's got some people around him that do not have his best interest. And
look at this win that he had back in 2009. Hold on. Someone's fucking with me.
Wow.
Chris Kennedy.
I did not fight Tony Ferguson in 2009.
You didn't?
I'll say this. How is that going to be somebody in his corner to acknowge to him that he
has nobody in his corner?
If he's constantly changing.
There was no Eddie Bravo. There was no. I don't know who the fuck else is. He has no striking coach. He is his pile of wood in his backyard. Is his striking coach.
Yeah. No, he has like his old high school wrestling coach, and then the other guy is one of the biggest frauds in MMA. Parasite.
Did you say Dewey Cooper?
No. No. Wow.
I thought you didn't like Dewey Cooper. I'm just saying. My bad.
Oh no. I'm cool with Dewey.
Oh, you had opinions about him being in Ngannou's corner for all those years, so I didn't. You were kind of like, or no, who was the guy in Uriah Hall's corner? That was Dewey Cooper, right?
I don't think so.
There was a guy in Uriah Hall's corner with the dreads, and you're like, you need to get rid of that guy.
Who was it?
Huh.
Who was that? Was it not Dewey? Was it Dewey Cooper?
I forget the name.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Like
he's in a lot of people's corners.
Uriah Hall's boxing coach.
Well,
What the fuck was that guy's name?
Well, while they're looking for it, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, keep talking.
Black Cobra, if this falls on your ears, I wasn't talking shit about you. We're cool, bro. Okay.
Yeah, I might have to
I want to show up in Vegas one day and get my ass beat. Yeah. So anyway, Tony, it's obvious he's done. He's past his prime. He's got people around him that he shouldn't have around him. And part of that is because he pushed away the people that were trying to help him, that were trying to talk some sense into him. Like, bro, take care of yourself. That stop fighting. It's time. It's past time. And then King he looked great, but okay, he looked great against someone who shouldn't be fighting, right? So I hope King makes some money. I hope he finishes out whatever contract he has. But he's getting up there in age also. I sound like a broken record because I'm always talking about fighters aging out, and get out before you age out. Get out before you lose things that are irreplaceable. Get out before your brain is mush. That's my advice. So the actual fight, Bobby Green, King did what Bobby Green do, and Ferguson couldn't do what Ferguson used to do.
Yeah, I'm with you with this, especially what you mentioned about, especially with the age heading that direction. Stay retired. That's what Ferguson should have already been doing. And I know, especially when you mentioned the people that he kicked out, like away from his side, from his circle, and look where he's at now. It's like his career, and come on, you were 0-6 within the last 3 years.
Yep.
I mean, with Bobby Green in the case,
well, and then his coach, the corner that I'm speaking of, was like, "You're doing good. You're doing great. You're doing everything right." It's like, oh, okay. Taking damage was part of the game plan, huh? All right.
Yeah, I mean, you can't bust a Glover Teixeira here, take some damage, and then try to do something in towards.
Yeah, right.
You can't do that. You can't do that here. No, you might as well just stay retired. Just hang those gloves, Ferguson. Your Kukui time is over. You did what you did. You had an incredible career, and I think this moving forward should to end here. I mean, with Bobby Green, it's a rebuilding for him. Well, of course, the last contest, of course, was a no contest because of headbutts. Yeah. I mean, looking at Bobby, Green's, I could say he improved at a certain level, but you made a good point though, Coach. I mean, you fought Ferguson. What about who's next gear class? Prove that and see how you improve. So, could we say this was an impressive win? For me, honestly, I can't really say it is. I can say it's okay. And I mean this with respect to all Ferguson fans who are listening and watching in Brazil. I know, shout out to Brazil because they love to listen to us. Thank you. But Ferguson, his time is up. There's nothing else to prove. And for Bobby, it is. Even though he's only 36, but still, there's something like you mentioned, Coach. That's supposed to be impressing me. No, you got to give me something better of that fight.
Boy's got miles, man. Boy's got 44 fights at 36 years old. His first fight was in last century, 2008, man. So.
Yeah. So, we'll see, at what direction, Green's in the head. I don't know what Dana White's going to do with him next. I don't know. I know he mentioned kind of the same thing. Like he's, he was wild man. He's young, mentioned, the aftermath, but still, like, I mean, come on. I need something more for him to impress the crowd. This win still did not impress him. And for all Bobby Green fans the same, sorry guys. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, but
yeah, and the appropriate age for fighters to really start thinking about retiring, 35, 36, 37. It's different for everybody. But 36 is only a year away from 37. And like you said, he's been fighting forever and has a countless number of scraps. So, man, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself.
I'm with
And
you.
each other. Jerry Springer.
I will say this though. I don't think he deserves anybody in the top 15 yet. And there's a name that pops up, and I'm wondering where he's been because he hasn't fought in 2 years. He got as high as 7th in the rankings, and because he's been inactive, he got kind of moved out of the rankings. Gregor Gillespie, and he only has one loss.
I think he retired, didn't he?
No, he just hasn't fought.
They haven't booked him at all, right?
Yeah.
I thought he was like fucking out after that Kevin Hall.
No, he lost once to Kevin Lee, and then he beat Diego Ferrer, and then he was booked for something else, and it got scrapped because of somebody else.
COVID.
And then he just hasn't. And then he hasn't fought since. And I think it's been 2 years.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. Last May 8th.
Ooh, that's a long time.
I thought he retired after that fight. I thought for some reason he was like out. I'll find out.
That's a fight I want to see.
See, there we go.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
That's a fight I want to see.
Yeah. Good call, Bagley. Hey, why not? Hell yeah. That does make absolute sense.
Yeah.
All right. According to MMA Junkie, so a reliable source, current situation, his still status as a fighter has not been changed. Still under the banner. I'm still in the UFC. Relax, he wrote.
Relax.
I'm removed from the rankings, not from the organization, but they're only removed for inactivity.
Yeah.
And then he put highlight number 2. I'm not fucking going anywhere. Rankings are not. He's been waiting for the right fight. Ferguson turned him down 100 times. Chandler doesn't seem interested because
McGregor.
Dariush will have to do. He wants RDA, Chandler, so
There's guys that he wanted, and then RDA moved up to welterweight. He's fighting next week against Luke.
Right.
You got Dariush have shot his way all the way up the rankings, so that's not going to happen.
I hate when guys do that. It's like, shut the fuck up and fight.
Yeah.
Oh, I want this guy. Shut the fuck up and fight.
There you go. Hell yeah, coach. Yes.
So it's like the I think Bacano got booked. So the only guy.
Even Dan Hooker just fought. Timeline's perfect.
Who?
Dan
Hooker.
Oh,
He's
Joker.
at 10.
Oh, sorry, I think he's Hooker.
If I were him, I would.
Yeah, I think that's fine, man. I would love to see Dan Hooker.
Does that, or does Bobby Green? Because everybody else.
Or Bobby Green. I'm cool with either one of those fights.
Yeah.
I would be very interested to see that fight with King and Gregor. That would be.
It'd be a good way for him to come back and test himself.
People forget that Gregor Gillespie is one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of all time ever, outside of MMA. So that would be fun.
Yeah. Give him Bo Nickel.
Oh, Bo Nickel.
Give him a third leg, gain 40 pounds, and fight Bo Nickel.
Hell yes.
Are they different weight classes? Is that what you're?
Yeah. He's a middleweight.
Nickel, I think, is welterweight or middleweight.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely coming in and fights at 200 pounds because he's a wrestler and he knows what the fuck to do.
Speaking of what to do, did not expect this what to do very, very quick. Wow. Hey, and were you planning this? Hell no. He just did not plan this. There was, of course, moving up in the main card of the heavyweight bout.
If there wasn't a certain somebody in the crowd that does it too,
That's right. Marcos Rogerio de Lima, of course, with the knockout, KO, TKO. Doesn't matter what it is. That flying knee, of course, it reminds everybody of. I don't even want to say it, but
super necessary.
Thank you. Yeah. But good win for Lewis. I know he didn't plan this, but it got the crowd excited though. I'll tell you that, to be honest. Just hearing the crowd in Utah, it was good, exciting to see Lewis to get him back in the main card. It's been quite some time, so I'm very happy to see him to get back in the main card. And we'll see what's next for him in that weight division.
And he was able, like, okay, the belt is out of his reach,
Yes.
Yeah.
but there was one thing that's still within his reach, and that's the most KOs in
He
UFC history.
rebroke his own record.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And this is
So
why
he
he's
stepped up and he grabbed it.
yes, he did. And
Yeah.
And
this
he's
is
okay
why
with and he's okay with 3 rounds. So
that's what. Yeah, he's okay with 3 rounds. That's all he's okay with. He's okay with it. But man, Bakley, go ahead, brother. What were your thoughts? I know that you were like, what? Wait a minute. You said he did plan this, but
if he was, I felt like if he was gonna get him right away was the way to get him. You know, surprise him. And that's what he did. He came in, got him with the knee. At first, I didn't see it because I saw him jump, and I thought he just fell onto him. But then when I saw the replay, I'm like, oh yeah, he got him. Because I'm like, what just happened? He looked like he just fell on top of him, like a slug or something. Like it just looks so weird. But then he did it, and he had him from there. Like my only gripe was the fact that why did the ref wait so long to call it? Because he was just ramming him, and he's like, he's moving like I'm just moving, and he's
not dead yet.
He's like he was waiting until Derek Lewis just tired himself out, and then let me go now, and then he stopped it. I thought it should have been stopped a long time ago, or like right after the knee in the first couple of shots.
Mm-hmm.
But they kept on going, and he got it. It was like he got the record. Good for him. I hope he got a bonus for it. I didn't see if he got any type of bonus, or maybe they did it like under the rug.
Yes, he did. He did get performance of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, performance of the night. That is correct. Yes, sir.
Pretty much
So
every winner on the main card got a bonus except for Herrera.
Yeah. So
Good.
so that was nice for him, but it's just testament to what he is. Like he's not the best of fighters, but he's good enough to knock guys out, and that's what he is. He has that knack to do that. Whether it's in the first round, last round, he could be losing. You look at the Volkov fight where he's easily losing the whole fight, and then he gets him in the last round. Like that's what he does, and I like watching him. Like I thought he was done, but he gets this, and whether he retires or he continues until he loses, good for him to get that win here and get the record before he had to. He was able to get the record before he put his boots out.
Absolutely. Shout out to Broadcast, man. My brother's right there. That is right. Shout out to Australia. Of course, it's morning time over there, I believe. So that's why he's like, hey, what's going on, gentlemen? Yes. What's going on? Good to see. Man, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Yes, I'm healthy. I'm 100% back in action.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, what? What about the rest of us? Just fucking Ivan? But yeah, I forgot. You came back from the dead. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Ivan's alive. Yeah. Thank you, Broadcaster.
He's alive. He's alive.
It's tough to talking because just like the other one, this very short fight, not a lot to talk about.
Well,
so it's like,
and the antics after the fight.
Yeah,
we can roll that in.
You got him laughing. You see,
the antics lasted longer than the fight.
Yes, but they were just as entertaining.
Yeah, they were. You put that together with the Chiesa Holland fight, and this was more entertaining than both combined.
There you go.
I like the flying knee. I was happy about the knockout. Happy about the record. Big fan of Derek Lewis. So it was all sunshine and rainbows for me.
Now do we know what's next? No, I have no idea because De Lima was unranked. So it's like, how do you book him now? Because when you look at it right now, heavyweight, De Lima was 15. So and Chris Dawkins is moving to light heavyweight for next week for his fight. So who's he going to fight? Alexander Romanov? That's about the only person that he hasn't fought in that top 15.
Director, tell me you were happy.
Is Derek Lewis not the most loved fighter in the history of the business? I think he definitely has to be.
Might be.
What's up?
Might be.
He might be. I think the man can do no wrong. Love this
teddy bear.
When he came out and landed it, I haven't been that jump out of my seat excited since Ronda took out Ngannou. I was just, I think, screaming the whole time, just go, go, go. I was hoping he got stopped right after that knee. I was like, fuck, he's going to gas. He's going to lose. He's going to lose. He's going to get up and get clocked or knee barred because Rogerio gets a hold of you. He's fucking over. And luckily that didn't happen. And he breaks his own knockout record. And then he starts to break my heart. I'm in a roller coaster of emotion. Takes some gloves off. But I see him toss them into the audience. And someone hopefully has those on eBay right now for 20 grand a pop because that is what they're worth.
Well, he threw his cup into the audience too.
That's
His
right.
balls was hot.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey, where your fine ass at? We'll see that.
That cup will go for $5,000.
Yeah. I love Derek Lewis. I mean, guy needed this win. He needed this bonus. He needed that barbecue. He's going to go back to Texas, open up that grill, and go to town. Love the guy. What's next for him? Tom Aspinall. Fucking give him that shot, man. Let's go.
Really?
I don't give a
Me too.
Former title contender. Aspinall did not call out John Jones. He called out the winner of Pavlovich and Gan. Is that, I think, in the winner of that fight would get him, and then the winner of that would get Jones.
He said he wanted John Jones or the winner of that because he
Right,
knows
well,
John Jones is playing Stipe.
You forget either Stipe is just counting Stipe out.
But
that much.
there's no way you're gonna go from all the way down that low, playing a guy that's ranked 15 to then playing a guy up there.
It's like Coach said, fight who you fight. Pick,
That's right.
And
Right.
yeah, I think Derek.
That's good for him, but not for Tom Aspinall. Why is
Who
Tom
else
Aspinall?
a heavyweight has he not already fucked up? Did he fuck up
What?
Rosenstrike? He got Rosenstrike, right? Or did Rosenstrike get him? Or have they not even fought?
I don't
Oh,
recall
they
that.
haven't
I
fought.
don't think so. They have.
Yeah, give him
Well,
Biggie Boy.
There
you
you go. That's
There
a
you
good
go.
one.
Biggie Boy. I love Biggie Boy. I feel the same way about Biggie Boy. He's just a South American version of Derek Lewis. So I would love to see that fight.
He's just very passive. But yeah, he probably has. He's probably the one fighter that has more power than him because he's not putting everything into it. His is more unconventional, where Derek Lewis is trying to put everything into it, where he uses a lot of gas to do it.
Who's the other gentleman from the Big Island down south in Australia that's
Tafa?
connected? Yeah, Tafa. Give him maybe him. I would still think.
Come on, Tuivasa?
He's
No,
booked.
he already fought Tai
No, he
Tuivasa.
already-
Yeah, he already fought him. What are you
Justin
talking about?
Tafa.
Oh, Tafa. Okay.
He's
Yeah.
booked.
Yeah.
He's
All right,
booked.
then fucking Biggie Boy. That's it. Make that a main
So-
event.
Do that one.
Make that a main event on a fight night in like November.
Yeah.
I was at a boxing gym today.
Nice.
A really nice boxing gym, Churchill Boxing, and there was a little mix-up in the sparring partners, and they were a little mismatched in size. But and he was Mexican, one of the boxers, and he said something, and he said it in Spanish. So I didn't really, but then I asked one of my fighters, what did he say? And he said, it's an expression that we have. Doesn't matter what music is playing, I'm dancing. And I was like, oh, okay, that's awesome. And I need to learn some Spanish.
Bueno, aquí estoy para enseñarle. Aquí
Ay,
estoy.
güey, muy
Aquí
poquito.
estoy. También, el director también habla
Habla
español.
poquito inglés, español.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try.
No, el director sí habla español, bueno español. Por eso él es el
I'm staying in my lane.
Yeah, there you go.
el papi chulo. El papi chulo director.
Se llama Canelo.
Oh, Canelo. Oh, they call it Canelo, Canelo, that's right.
I don't think he knows what that means or why that's.
No, he does know what that
means-
means.
I know what it means.
All right.
He knows. He knows. Oh, Baker knows. Baker knows. Definitely.
It means
does.
the great boxer.
Oh yeah, come on! You had a crowd that's chanting, screaming at you. Hey, Canelo, pregnant my wife. I'll take care of the
Bro.
kid. That's
Bro.
what he literally said. Hey, you go back and look at our social media. That's literally what happened.
Yeah, but Biggie Boy sounds like the right name though, because I think Aspinall wouldn't do that. Like, why would he fight
I was
down?
kidding about Aspinall.
I'm just saying, why would he fight down? Like,
Yeah, no, I know.
If they were like
the
a
title
couple
shot, like,
spots.
he's probably a backup for that Jones fight, anyways. So yeah.
And either way, I mean, you got Lewis at 10 in the rankings right now.
I don't want to feed Derek Lewis to him too. So,
I mean, we'll see what direction they're going to go with Lewis. We'll see what Dana White does with with Lewis. Title shot. No, in all due respect, to Derek Lewis, but your time is done when it comes to the title shot, especially the division itself. I mean, yes, you're still a challenging person. However, you're not what you used to be a couple years ago, buddy. I mean, you still may have it though, despite what you just did, but that's different. However, if you fight someone in the top 5 or top 7, I would say at least, it could be a different story. I mean, it's my opinion though. I mean, everybody has their own opinion about Derek Lewis, but that's what I feel about Lewis in this division. I mean, he can move up in the rankings, can be in the top 10 like he is now. He's in the exact number 10. He's there. Could he go any more further? In my opinion, I don't think he can. If he can't last over 3 rounds, that's an issue. And I mean, his age, he's 36, 38, somewhere around there, I believe so.
God, he's my age. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm older than Derek Lewis, and he's twice my size. Genetics is weird.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what's his future in the heavyweight bout and see where they're gonna go with him. But I mean, good congrats to him. Performance of the night, and it was actually pretty great. All
and
right,
that was like the 9th fastest KO in heavyweight history. It was like some crazy, not even close to the record too.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Any final thoughts?
Todd Duffy, by the way, the man. I love Todd Duffy.
Any final thoughts before we move on? Anybody else?
Nope.
Let's move on.
All right. Co-main event time. This is where I'm pissed off because
let's move on again. Fuck your fight.
was mad. I tell you that. I was upset. And that is, of course, we're talking about the light heavyweight bout. Jan Blachowicz versus, of course, Alex Pereira, whatever you want to pronounce him nowadays. As Pereira got the win by split decision. We, prior in this show, discussed prior about the judges' fucking decisions. Okay? We discussed this, and it is happening again. I know everybody couldn't probably critique my opinion and everybody else's, but this was bullshit. The way how the fight, and I'm digressing my thoughts overall right away, Jeff. I just feel it was, what was it, 28, 29, 29, 28, and 28, or 29, 20. Is that what it was?
29.
He has the cards. I know you do.
29, 28, 28, 29, and then 29, 28. So, yeah.
What the fuck? That's where, okay. I know. Maybe, of course, he's going to have to refresh me.
Well, I looked at the cards, and they all have the same rounds, and the one guy that was different, it was just one round that was different. So
Was
they
the
all had
second
the
one?
same thing.
The one judge had one round for Pereira.
The 2 guys had 29, 28. They had him, Alex Ferreira, doing second and third. The one guy had him only having the second. So it's not far-fetched. It's not like they're all out of, like, I got 1 and 3, and then he has 2 and 3, and then he has 1 and 2. Like they all had the similar scorecards, but one round. That's it.
Yeah, but that's why, like,
it should have been a draw.
You refresh it.
It should have been a draw at 27-27. It was. Now, first of all, part of it is the fighter's fault. They didn't perform well. They didn't fight well. They didn't show up. But part of it's also the promotions fight for having essentially big ass motherfucking heavyweights fight at altitude. And anytime heavyweights fight at altitude, you get dog shit. It's a formula. So stop doing it.
Mark Hunt versus Ben Rothwell in Denver.
Right?
Or this fight.
Cain Velasquez. Right?
Sea-level Cain.
Sea-level, right?
That was only Cain. That was only Cain because we know Verdum had no problem down there.
But he acclimated. He went there for like
exactly.
10 weeks
So
ahead of time.
I would blame the fighter for that one.
I wouldn't. No, it's the promotion. That's just fucking stupid to do that. Unless you're gonna provide the camp. Like in boxing, promoters, managers, they actually pay for the training. So you're not just getting. Anyway, we're not talking about boxing. Yeah. So it was awful. And yes, I know it was technically light heavyweight, but both these motherfuckers were over 230 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. especially with Pereira came out at 228 the last
Yeah,
the day
228.
on the day, like 24 hours ago prior, you were like 205, 206, like Bailey did mention last week about it. So it's like, what the fuck? Like it just, I just didn't. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, the silver lining is that Jan probably got his papers. He's probably gone. He's 40 fucking years old, guys.
Yeah.
Like Dana is fed up with it, underperforming time and time again. One thing I will say about the light heavyweight division, it is the most difficult, the most challenging. You look at the belt just keeps turning. Once asshole fucking John Jones took all. No, you weren't light heavyweight. You were. And your record's not that bad, bro. 8-2. That's pretty good.
And right now you have Jamal.
You see how much the belt keeps turning over and turning over and turning over.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's dicey and the talent's a little shallow. It's just the division is so difficult. It's the most athletic, it's the most explosive, and it's the most dangerous division weight class that there is. Period. And so anyway, we don't have I don't have patience for 40-year-old men. Man, you don't belong in this sport. I'm sorry.
I mean, we could, it's a 50-50, I would say. But I get your point. I'm not saying you're wrong about it when it comes to the age, of course.
Yeah.
But one thing I would say is when it comes to this division overall, though, is where it does make a difference. Especially you're coming from, like, if you're lowering or upgrading, regardless of from heavyweight moving up to lowering yourself to light heavyweight, it makes a huge difference because now you have to change your strategies. Now you have to figure out exactly, what your motives are in order to win this fight and where to actually put yourself in that position. Because the heavyweight is way different. We can say that. Even as middleweight going to the light heavyweight is the same thing. That's why this light heavyweight is so like up and down. It's like a roller coaster.
Yep.
It's definitely it is.
And I think Potan totally underperformed also. I think wrong game plan, wrong mindset.
I think he was afraid of the takedowns, and even though he was afraid he got taken down, I still think he won.
Yeah, I don't think he won. And the thing is, it's like, yeah, we're splitting hairs over a piece of shit fight. So who gives a fuck? But by the rules,
I don't think it was close. To be honest, I don't think it was close.
It should be tied. I think for me,
no.
Or Bobby should have won this fight.
Well, if you look at round one, and all was a takedown, and then Jovic threw 6 punches. That's it, 6.
Right.
Second round,
totally dominated control time. Totally dominated round one. So by some rules, somebody that could have even been a 10-8. Could have been.
It could have, but he didn't do enough with it. He just laid on him.
And he had submission attempts, right? But he didn't do much with it.
Well, they both had a submission attempt, one and one.
Yeah, no, they both did. I mean, mind you that Pierre, I guess you could say, did more strikes, but in this case, it was just more, back in which,
the differential in strikes was so nominal.
Yeah.
So nominal, and there wasn't really any damage done other than
in round
Jan's ankle. No, in the entire fight.
Well, no, Fajita stunned him in round 3. No, in round 2. I mean, he stunned him in round 2.
Well, he was a leg injury,
and then Jan slowed down tremendously. From
but that's not scoring criteria. That the judges look at that they're not supposed to.
But
the scoring is effective grappling, effective striking, grappling, aggression, and control, or generalship. And if the striking and grappling cancel each other out, then you're supposed to look at aggression and ring generalship. So,
so if you go by that, Fajita won.
No, if you go by that, he lost.
He lost.
He had no grappling. The striking was equal.
The striking was never equal in either round.
The striking
33 to 20 and then 35 to 26, and that's just with the significant striking.
But that's the stats. When you actually watch the fight, nobody did any damage. So
He did damage to Jan. If you look at Jan's face compared to his face at the end of the fight, he did more damage with it.
So there were 70 strikes. I know they're not looking at the metrics per se, but they are looking with their eyes and mentally clocking the strikes.
Right.
70 to 52 for Pereira, 0 to 3 on takedowns. No damage was done on the takedowns, and if you're going to take someone down, do something with it, because octagon control is the last factor in the sentence of what is scoring criteria. So it is the least important thing in the scoring criteria according to the way the rules are laid out.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So octagon control is almost non-existent.
Is fourth, but aggression is third.
Which is where the striking advantage comes from, which would go to Pereira, and then 1 sub attempt for Pereira to 2 sub attempts. So really, is 1 sub more important than 20 strikes more? No, the strikes matter more.
But 3 takedowns
to 0 takedowns, but nothing
to
was
0
done.
takedowns. See, so that's what I'm saying. These metrics are draw type metrics.
Are 3 takedowns more important than 20 more strikes?
They're bullshit strikes.
Well, that's
so
significant strikes. If you want to go the other strikes,
a jab that's thrown that doesn't do anything, is that more important than a takedown that's landed that doesn't do anything?
See, that's when it comes to, honestly, that comes to the case, especially in the state, especially in the athletic commission, because especially with those judges. I give you.
You guys want to know what you guys want? I can solve the question. Do you guys want to know what it really comes down to at the end of the fight?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Jan looked like he was on. That literally won the fight right there for me.
Don't ever do that. Do what Alex Pereira did. Get up and put your hands up.
Jan could barely walk between rounds
because he hurt his leg in the second round.
Well, and he was gassed out.
I think
the illusion of a winner is still a winner.
I think he gassed himself out.
Right.
Well, and he was at altitude, and he's old.
Yeah.
And
he looked like he made it look like he lost, and the judges were. He did a very good job of making it look like he lost.
Half the time the judges are fucking watching YouTube videos on their fucking cell phone anyway. But the director, absolutely right. I'm just saying, if the judges did their fucking job, it probably would have been a draw if they scored it right, or if they actually went by the criteria. Jan won.
But if he went by criteria, what wins it for him? He won the first round. No one's questioning
20 more strikes or 3 more takedowns is the equator.
Because you look at the second round, there was that's the only questionable round is the second round, and he had 20 more strikes, and then in 2 minutes.
The first round went to Jan, the second round went to Potan. The third round is a questionable round.
But what was it? But he still had 10 more strikes, and then there's 40 seconds of
Potan
of a takedown.
Potan was backpedaling.
He did nothing with it.
Jan was trying to.
Well, the first half he was the one making Jan backpedal, and then when he got taken down, that's the only time he was backpedaling. Was that he gets taken down, and then Jan just laid on him. He didn't throw anything with that takedown. So do you count that takedown as worthy of what it was when he didn't do anything with it? Whereas when Potan hit him, he was doing damage with it in the first half of that third round.
But Jan was answering in the third round.
But he still got outstruck though by 10 strikes. So is that 10 strikes worth more than the 40 seconds of just laying on him?
You can't look at the stats.
I'm looking at the damage. That's what I look at. I look at the damage is done because the strikes come from the damage comes from the strikes. And
absolutely,
he looked like he was dead.
That's how I like to score fights, also, but that's not the criteria.
They also don't look at the damage because I always harken back to Martin Kampmann and Diego Sanchez.
Yes.
Diego Sanchez. I gotta look up who won, but Martin Kampmann was piecing them up.
Yeah.
But Diego did the damage. It was like 100 strikes to 3, but those 3 strikes did more damage, so they gave it to him.
But Hayden did the volume and the damage. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I honestly think Kampmann. I think Pereira lost the first round and the first half of the second round. I think Pereira lost the second half of the second round and won most of the third round. That to me makes it like a 49-50 split as far as or 51-49 as far as that goes. Close enough to be a draw and I was not mad at either decision. Let's do a rematch. Let's book it. And then the winner gets Magomed Sharipov or whoever the fuck the guy that drew last time in the title fight was.
Let's cut Jan.
Let's do that.
Let's get rid of him. And let's
give Ferreira a striker. Give him a fucking 205 striker. Let's give him I'll poke him right now. Let's give him Alexander Rakic when his knee comes back. Give him Johnny Walker. I know Johnny Walker would be interesting. Give him Johnny Walker anyways.
But see, the thing is,
Johnny Walker's fighting in Goliath.
I know.
With Potan, like, bro, you were pushed through to get your legacy with fucking Stylebender.
Yeah.
And you did great. But if you're going to stay in this fucking sport, your job is to fucking entertain. Not fucking half-ass and walk, and squeak by with a bullshit split decision that could have gone either way. But Derek clearly was judging that night, so it went your way. He fucking owes us. He owes the fans. He owes the company. So he better fucking start stepping up and delivering.
Very, very true. Absolutely. Yep. And this is where, I think we all already pretty much.
But see, the thing is, he's too big for middleweight, and he's not strong enough for light heavyweight. Although, man, he fucking tired. He tired Jan out resisting those takedowns.
As much as I wanted to,
I think what it was. I think it was the guillotine that tired Jan out.
Yes, I was going to say yes.
He tried so hard to get the guillotine, and then he just didn't look the same since. I don't think the leg had any difference. I think it was the guillotine attempt at the end of the first. I think that's what really killed Jan, was he went all in for it and didn't get it.
And mind you that Jan came back from this injury with Magomed. So mind you that he's getting freshened up as well. I mean, he was out for... I get your point, though. I'm not disagreeing anything. I'm just saying that. It's just that... I know. Once again, his age numbers, I get it. Very understand.
We don't have to say this about the main event.
No, we'll get into it very shortly. But, I mean, I believe we all could give our takes on it. But one question I do have, though, is... we hear Pereira in the post conference. He wants to go back to middleweight. He wants his trilogy with, of course, we already know who, Bender. Our coach mentioned him. Blachowicz, we don't know what's next for him. In this case, I know maybe push him away. How coach said, I'd rather see him and Magomed get the rematch and finish what it started, and I want to see where it goes from there between both. Then I could say, okay, then we can say, okay, maybe the injury that they had prior, maybe, okay, you know what? Maybe that's it. I mean, maybe now the age is hitting you. The recovery took this long. And then the recovery affected you to be at this strength, at this level of strength, how you were prior. Those could be an effect too. And so, I mean, that's why I'm not saying he should retire. I'm saying I want to see I want him and Magomed to, rematch and see where it goes from there. That's what I would rather see from Blachowicz. And go ahead, coach. Go ahead.
I don't want to see that. Dana doesn't want to see that.
Well, I mean, he can put it in prelims. I mean, it's fine. He's no difference. He can put it in prelims.
I got to tell you, I'm the oldest guy here, and I'm telling you, 40 years old is fucking old for fighting. It's really old. And okay, he had some good, spectacular knockouts, and he made a good title run. Other than that, he's not special. He's not fucking Randy Couture, He's
also not special because he had a 50-50 win ratio. So I agree with you.
Hey, different times. I mean, Blachowicz, man, it's you gave it your best and it's over. And you were in it for an extra 4 years beyond where you should have been. So, man, just do us a favor. Go home.
So now the question in this case, so we can move on to the main event very quick. Pereira's next move, should he go back to middleweight and get that trilogy like he mentioned in the post conference? Should he stay in this division, in the light heavyweight division, as well? So I'll start with you, Director. What are your future for Pereira, and should he move down or should he stay?
I think he's going to stay. Whether or not he should or not, let's see what happens in his next fight. I know that styles make fights, but I would like to see him against a striker just for the fuck of it. I'm looking at everyone in that division. I mean, I don't know where Rakic is on the injured list. He's at 5. Pereira debuted at number 3, which is fucking crazy talk. Crazy down.
Did that really happen?
That happened. Yeah.
According to this, Jamal Hill still has the belt too, but we'll see about that.
They haven't found anything to do with it yet, as of yet.
Right, and I know Yuri just said he's back 100%. So I mean,
and Yuri called out Fajita.
Yeah, so I mean that could be a title fight right there. I mean,
that would be fun to watch. Yes,
that would be fun to watch. That would be two of the best kickboxers alive in the world right now, and I don't think I'm wrong in saying that.
No,
I mean, there's no Ricky Vergo for a reason. So yeah.
Who do you think wins?
I think Yuri takes him out. I think Yuri's got better.
Yuri.
It depends on how he looks post injury. Because
God, you are so fucking right.
Yes, he is.
He's totally right. Like he had the worst shoulder injury that we've heard about.
But now he says he feels better than before the surgery.
That's what he said.
I know. That's what he said.
Right. What was the boxing fight that just happened?
I don't watch.
Crawford.
Crawford and Spence.
Spencer and Crawford.
Spence, right? Spence was saying he's 100%. He's better than he's ever been. And he shows up and is like, "Oh man, you look like you rolled a Ferrari, bro," because he did, and he was still fighting, and he was totally outclassed. But kudos for showing up.
Yeah.
But yeah. Bakley, you make a very good point that injuries change everything, and even though they say they're recovered, you got to see.
Right.
You got to see.
So does Yuri come back and get a title shot or does he get a tune-up fight?
Or
is Pereira the tune-up fight and the winner gets Jamal? Because I don't know how far Jamal's out for. Like,
Jamal's out for like at least
goddamn right
6 to 12 months.
That injury that Jamal has, guys.
Yeah, I know. Oh man, I wish him for.
First of all, Jamal was talented, naturally talented, but he was not very technical. And now he's going to be gimpy because you don't come back from. No, I'm sorry.
Man. I know
your footwork
very accurate.
Yeah, your fucking footwork is totally dependent upon your Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
And it's never going to be the same. It's probably going to be shorter because they had to stitch it back together. And I would not be surprised if he never actually is able to return. But yeah,
was it worth it to play basketball? Is the question.
Is that what he did?
That's how he did it. Was playing basketball.
And then somebody did a spinning back elbow onto
the old Tom Segura injury.
Yeah.
Well,
but it's like Yuri goes and gets injured, and then it's like, oh, maybe he's not the same again. And then Jamal Hill goes, I'm gonna one up you here, play basketball, and get hurt even worse.
Yeah, and then Ratchet
guys to win the belts.
And then fucking Gastelum with his fucking. Did you guys see that video of fucking Gastelum's fucking
getting his nose smashed in with a fucking
Yes. Wow. So he's out of
was that Leroy Murphy too?
It looked like him, right? I was gonna say that.
Oh, okay. I don't know who is that. Is that a Bellator fighter?
His training partner.
No, who's his training partner?
What do you guys say his name, right?
Leroy Murphy.
Yeah, Leroy Murphy.
He just fought on. He just fought. He's a lightweight.
Yeah. Fighting for what organization?
UFC.
He fights for the UFC.
He just fought on the
anymore.
Really? Oh
yeah.
Oh man. I mean, I didn't recognize him. He looked like some random fuckhead.
He's the one who beat Kulabau.
I don't know who that is either.
Kulabau trains with Volkanovski and Adesanya.
Oh, okay.
So he's at City Kickboxing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So any final thoughts on Pereira, then him staying in that division or moving?
He's going to move back down and what's his name? Draku
Drickus.
kind of
Drickus
deserved
Duplessis.
it. Earned, Jacob
Nice.
Duplessis.
Oh,
DDP.
He earned the shot being Whitaker, and then you have Sean Strickland who's fighting Adesanya now. So it's like, is he going to move down? How does that mess up?
Is that
the
actually
war
happening?
they've already
Is that
met?
like real? Is that true?
293.
I heard that was canceled. I heard
293.
Kevin Holland's. I heard Kevin Holland's not fighting the fight. Well, I gotta double check and confirm that.
No, they just said 293. His
293.
it wasn't Nissick, his coach, Strickland's coach, said 293.
Oh yes, there you go, Strickland. My apologies. Yeah, okay.
So
Was
Strickland
it
is fighting.
Eric Nissick or whatever it is?
Strickland's fighting Stylebender
Yeah, because
for the title.
DDP won't be ready in time for September.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's
you're right.
that's cool. That's cool that Strickland was able to get there, and I think he stands a chance. I think
I will love everything before and after the fight as far as like media goes. Sean Strickland is a wild man. He
bro.
the shit that he lets he's honest. He's super honest, and you know him. The things that I've heard him say on Bob podcasts, I'm like, I appreciate the honesty and
I
introspection.
love that, to be honest.
But maybe keep some of that inside.
Damn.
I don't want to repeat a lot of things he said.
Yeah, like
yeah, I was gonna tell you
about
that.
to have a hate
Don't
crime in
repeat it.
Australia.
Do not repeat
Yeah,
it. I'm
yeah.
gonna say, don't say it.
This-
I was like, no, don't say it.
his brain to mouth filter was already broken before it went missing, you know? But like some of the shit that he said to Pat Barry, to Pat Barry's face, goddamn.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
you know that's a fucking heavyweight, right? Sean Strickland doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, and I've been around Strickland. I've seen how he do. I like him. I like him as a guy, as a person. I like him as a fighter. I think he could be a little smarter.
He's like
a
the
little more
American
tactical.
Michael Bisping. He's American Michael Bisping. As
Bro.
far as that shit goes. He
Bro.
looks like him. He fights like him. He
Why?
talks
Oh
like him.
my God.
Why would you compare to Michael
Ah.
Bisping? Why?
Oh
Look at him.
man, they
Look
need
at
to podcast together. They need to
Oh,
broadcast.
Believe You put him on the
together.
Believe You Me podcast with
Yeah.
Jay Gomez and Michael Bisping?
Yes.
Yeah.
That can happen because he's got a title shot now.
They're not going to understand each other. They're going to be fucking just, it's going to be like, I don't know, like two people with different accents who are, only they understand each other, but we don't.
Exactly. Right? It's like
Coach,
when your grandmothers
thoughts?
argue, and it's like, what the fuck are you guys
Yeah.
talking about? So Poton, I think he's too big for middleweight, and he's not strong enough for light heavyweight. So he's not going to be able to cut. I mean, he thinks he can. I think it's, whatever. If he gets that shot, he gets that shot. If he can cut back down to middleweight and go get knocked out by Izzy again, okay, cool, whatever. But if he's going to stay at middleweight, he needs to seriously look at strength and conditioning, and not just do the dumb fuck caveman shit that he's been doing.
Stop with the Glover Teixeira move. That's it. I mean, I know he's a coach. I respect him. I love the guy Teixeira, what he's done in his career. But sorry, you got to, especially for your height and your reach, everything. Take advantage of it. That's just me.
Yeah.
I mean,
And he's been cutting extreme amounts of weight, and that has a really, really horrible effect on your endocrine system. So
Great.
he's been cutting weight for decades now, and in big weight cuts. And so his whole endocrine system's all upside down, and he's got to sort that shit out, but probably won't.
Probably won't. All right. Now it's time for the main event of this evening for 291. Of course, for the BMF title, of course, the vacated. And in the lightweight bout, of course, Justin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. Why the hell did they put Justin? Let me fix that.
Because that's what he's doing, man. He just goes out there and he is justing.
Yeah,
Justin
Gaethje.
Gaethje.
Yeah, so just let me. Oh Jesus, come on, let me fix that. But
Just
yes,
throw that.
yeah.
Just throw that G out, just like he threw that kick out.
yes,
Yeah.
and of course, he won in the second round with KO, and in 1 minute, Head kick right on Poirier, and man, I didn't expect it, to be honest. I don't know if we expected it to be that, but
You better watch this guy.
Well, hold on. No, that's not it. Yeah,
I
you
don't-
can watch. You can watch me, but still, I
UFC history.
went.
I don't remember it ending in the second round. I'm sure it did, but it seemed
1
like it
minute,
ended in the
exactly,
first round.
It was exactly like 1 minute into the second round.
Wow.
1 minute,
Okay.
second round,
Yeah.
and
My brain didn't process it as a second round. It was just like it's still
was
the
so
first
fun
round.
about
How
it.
did?
It was
Yeah.
a fun first round, but that's why.
Yeah.
It was definitely, and of course, Masvidal presenting him the BMF title, and now Gaethje is now your BMF champion. I do not know what direction it is heading here next after that, but great main event, I would say. Got the whole crowd, the Utah crowd, insane, going crazy. Even, of course, the commentators did not expect that. So incredible. I still feel I'm just getting my minds out of the way quickly. I feel Poirier, I think the ego got the best of him. I get it, but I love the fact they have respect for each other. Even after match, Poirier saying Gaethje is one of my favorite fighters. So I mean, I love the respect they have with each other, which is great. Good, good respect. You earn it, well earned. And we'll see we'll see what Gaethje's next after this. I mean, definitely we'll see. I don't want to see McGregor Gaethje. No, please, no. Don't want to see that. We're already gonna get Chandler McGregor most likely. But director, go ahead, take it away. The floor is yours. Give us your thoughts about this main event. And were you surprised at this victory of Justin Gaethje?
Yeah, wow, what a fight. For as long as it lasted, it was building up to be an epic war like the first one. Poirier definitely won that first round. I think that was pretty clear. He let his crisp, clean, down the middle boxing dictate position and damage too. I mean, Gaethje had his nose work done, but his scar tissue is still there, so he still bleeds from a breeze. But Gaethje's never out of the fight until he's unconscious. And he got to the second round, and I don't know what his corner actually said. I know Trevor Whitman. Trevor Whitman.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
Is very animated, and he was yelling something at him. I think he was just saying his name over and over again. I don't know if he was actually giving him coaching instructions or cheerleading, but it worked. Gaethje threw the only kick he has ever thrown in his life. He never said he said he never trained it. He never throws it in sparring. He was never taught how to do it. They say he watched the Leon Edwards KO. I mean, yeah, of course he watched it. Was he thinking that when he threw it? Maybe. I mean, he baited him with that right straight and threw the right fucking head kick, and it wrapped. I didn't know how it – I thought Poirier hit himself in the head because I've seen KOs where the kick will deflect your hand. I thought that's what did it until the replay, and we saw it wrap the back of the head like Cowboy versus Andreas Martins like 10 years back. And Poirier landed in the most epic video game end of a movie sequence of all time. Flat, perfect, middle of the octagon, right on the monster logo. Heartbreaking because we all know how good of a guy Poirier is. But like I said last week, I love Gaethje to the end of time. And he needed this win. He needed a finish. And they are 1-1, and they need to run it one more time. Connor's just trolling. Connor's probably not going to fight Chandler, but he's going to pretend he wants to fight Gaethje because he's the it kid right now. If they do run it back, is it the next fight? Poirier said he does not want it to be the next fight. He also needs some time to recover from that just brutal head kick. Gaethje, what's next for him, man? Fuck, I have no idea. If it's not, I don't want it to be Chandler. I don't want it to be Connor. He already beat Rafael Fiziev. Who is I already closed my ranking, so lightweight.
I got it. It's right here.
For some reason, Dariush makes sense.
He could fight him but then Dariush just lost. So
but Gaethje just lost too, didn't he? Or he's coming off at least a 2 out of 3.
Gaethje's on a 2-fight win streak.
Okay, cool. That's good.
So
you could do it if he doesn't want to stay inactive. You could do it because theoretically he could kind of be not next in line, but right after. But he could be due for another title rematch because he just
and there's rumors of that obviously, and we all know that they're trying to set up Charles and Makhachev again, which I would also love. So
that's in October.
Yeah, so Gaethje isn't one to
Yeah.
turn down fights. If he wants to stay active, definitely take out Dariush,
Yeah.
which I know he would do. Besides that, going any further back, he's either already fought them or not worth giving up that number 2 spot.
Everybody else is booked. So
Yeah, Gamrod's booked. I know Tarsukian's booked, and I don't think he needs to go as high as Dos Anjos or Dan Hooker.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think either wait it out or take Dariush.
Awesome. Bakley, take it away, my brother.
He looked. I don't want to say he looked like a totally different fighter, but he kind of did. Like he was more aggressive. I wish I would have known he had the septum surgery, because knowing somebody that deals with that on a day to day, I know how much of a difference that would make for somebody who can. It messes with their cardio. So, like, if I would have known that, I would have been like, Gaethje, like, he's going to be a different fighter, especially with the explosion. And he showed it. He pushed the pace. Sometimes, like, if you look at the Fiziev fight, he was kind of being a little bit passive. He was kind of like waiting and countering. This one, he was ready to go. Like, he was throwing shots. He was pushing the pace. He wasn't stopping. He wasn't slowing down. And he was getting hit with shots, but then he was returning shots back. He made it a point to use the calf kicks, and Poirier definitely didn't like it. You could see every time he got hit, he switched stances because they were hurting him, and then he was returning them back. But Gaethje wasn't getting as affected to them as he was with the straight. I think it was the straight left that Poirier was having a good time with throwing, but he was just going over top and then throwing the cross. And he was doing damage to Poirier. Like, they were both taking shots, but it was Gaethje. He was pressing later in the first round. He looked good, and then going in, Trevor Whitman was like, "Yo, you're doing what we want you to do. You're pressing, throwing shots." He had more volume, and then he just stuck that leg kick in, and like it came out of nowhere. Like, you look at it, it's kind of crazy that he did it, because when you watch it, it's the same leg kick that Edwards did, just from the opposite side.
It's the hand blinding him. Poirier's eyes were closed.
Yeah.
I paid close attention to that. He just came up around the right side. I'm not going to throw it because I ain't a fighter. I'll fucking break a leg.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I can explain it. I can explain it. I'm definitely the best armchair quarterback you ever seen.
I know. I see that.
It wasn't like it was forced either. It looked fluid. It looked like it was going through the motion.
It looked so crisp.
Yeah, but like, dude, he looked like a different fighter. Like, I know it's crazy to say, but he definitely looked like a different fighter. And Poirier is, like, I think it's just a testament to how good Poirier is, that even though he looked like a different fighter, he was still taking shots back because of who Poirier is. And like, I want to see him fight Oliveira again. They were talking about how, like, they asked Oliveira, who is a tougher matchup? And he said, even though Poirier is the better striker, he thinks Gaethje has more power, and punching wise, he's harder to deal with. And I think that with him having that surgery, being able to push the pace more and not be kind of more passive, and make that rematch with Oliveira even more exciting. And I want to see that before I see him fight Makhachev.
That kind of honestly did make sense. I'm with you on that. It does actually make sense, because Makhachev, that's
because there's not really anything else. It's either Oliveira, there's Makhachev, or maybe you give him Volkanovski, and Volkanovski pushes back up, because Volkanovski has kind of done everything in the division, and he's made the desire to want to go back up and challenge Makhachev again. Because he's done everything. Like, what is he going to do down there? Who is he going to fight? No one.
Nobody.
Maybe with this this Oliveira fight against Makhachev, if he wants to move up, maybe you give him Gaethje.
Yeah. So, is Makhachev booked?
It's him versus Oliveira in Abu Dhabi in
October. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Is it at the Ferrari Stadium?
Whatever it's called, yeah.
Yeah. Is that what it was?
Oh, man.
Keep talking, you guys.
Phenomenal. The floor is yours.
So, when a southpaw and an orthodox face each other, that's called open stance. When it's conventional, orthodox versus orthodox. That's called a closed stance. And then in the very rare instance, you have southpaw versus southpaw. That's also called a closed stance. But when you have right-handed fighter versus a left-handed fighter, you get what's called open stance. And part of the reason it's called open stance is because there's all that space open between the power sides. And so this it's ipsilateral, the same side punch kick in open stance is even more effective, is way more effective in open stance than it is in closed stance. Gaethje surprised us all. Gaethje surprised himself.
You're dealing with that save, bro. Let's talk about that fucking stoppage.
Did you just read my mind? I was gonna say he went to Thailand to watch some of the refs there, man.
Safe.
Some of the Thai refs in Muay Thai, when dudes get killed, knocked out, they dive, they catch them with their feet. It's like Herb Dean was channeling that shit.
Yeah, and I mean, Herb Dean's pretty polarizing, but I think that was a great stop. I mean, obviously a great stoppage, but a great method to make sure the safety. I mean, that hammer fist was.
I never had any issues with Herb. I like Herb, but I've worked with him. I know him. He's a cool guy, good guy. He's made some mistakes. But who the fuck hasn't made mistakes?
He's the most animated. I could go to a highlight reel of Herb Dean.
Yeah.
When Frank Mir broke Tim Sylvia's arm, watch the replay. The arm snapping, and Herb Dean's over here, and he goes, "Oh shit, step right," and you hear him say it. Another one is when you look at the picture. There's a fantastic picture of when Bigfoot Silva knocked out Overeem, and I gotta show you this shit.
Well, yeah, go ahead, coach. Continue while he's looking for that picture.
Oh.
Yeah, you can do. You know.
Well, I forgot what the fuck I was saying. The other thing, Poirier was not expecting a kick.
Here it is.
No,
No, he didn't. Yeah. Honestly, did not expect that kick. To be honest with you, you're absolutely right.
No. Well, he wasn't expecting a head kick. He wasn't expecting that kick specifically.
The great Herb Dean, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go.
Oh, that's right.
He's definitely like a fan first, which might not be the best interest for the losing fighter, but it's still funny.
Hey, I'm down with it, man. I like it. So the thing is, Poirier is a good boxer. I was talking to my fighters, I don't know, earlier this week or whenever. After this fight, and I said, guys, listen, boxing is seductive because it's so effective, but it's vulnerable to leg kicks and head kicks and knees and elbows. Every art that is in the soup of MMA, you can't get seduced by it. You can't get seduced by jiu-jitsu, even though jiu-jitsu is super seductive. You can't get seduced by wrestling. You can't get seduced by Muay Thai. You have to adjust everything for MMA. And Poirier used a boxing block reflexively because he didn't know it was coming, but he saw something was coming. And he just did a standard boxing hook block. And for kicks, you have to use what's called a 3-point block. So this arm's the same, but the palm smacks the shin and takes some stank off that thing, and then you're dividing it between the other two. So it's a 3-point block, 1, 2, 3. And Poirier rolled into the punch, he rolled the first punch, but he turned it into the kick. And that's why the feet went around the head, because instead of being back here, he rolled this way. Reflexively, right? Which is actually very good in boxing. But when you have a giant leg and a foot coming around, and it was just perfectly the wrong thing to do, and expose the back of the head to that foot, and getting caught right there on the occiput, man. But in the post-fight interview, when he said, he woke up. He woke up and he said, I'm not Joe Biden. Why am I on the floor?
He did say that. Oh my god. Love it. Fantastic. All right, so we close it out here. So which one you can say the fight the best overall in this card as well? Which one you can say that really caught you? Oh my god! Or can you say all of it? So I'll start with you, director.
Yeah, buddy, I'm gonna give that shit to fucking Uros Medic and Matthew Semmelsberger. Semi the Jedi had that fight for the first 6 minutes, and then Medic just figured him out and started cracking him. I thought he was gonna finish him by takedown and sub or some shit, but he fucking TKO'd the shit out of him with that spinning back fist. To me, that was fight of the night. And
I was expecting that to be an easy fight for Medish, because he trains with. I'm biased as fuck. You know this. He trains with my people. He trains with people I know. Therefore, it should have been an easy fight. But then he got there, and it was not an easy fight.
No, he was. I mean, he was pretty much. They could have stopped that fight in the first 2 minutes, and I would have been cool with it.
Yeah, and then he pulled out the win. Good for him. Our
was
girl Maverick.
He was very conservative until the finish, and then he was like, "Fuck this shit! I'm just gonna go as wild as this guy is."
He was supposed to get him finished too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was a good fight. But you got to mention our girl Maverick.
Yep, she made that look as easy as it should have been.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
she played with her food.
Female Matt Hughes right there. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
She did make some pretty big mistakes. It's just I don't know how to say her name.
Ketchawaya. It's
Ketchawaya.
Yeah, we'll call her Priscilla. Priscilla just didn't know enough.
Anything.
Right. Yeah. You know, when somebody does a head outside single, that's the easiest guillotine you can. They're putting their head right here. It's the easiest guillotine, but she doesn't have any ground game to.
And this is why Maverick took the fight on very short notice, because she knew she had that one big advantage in the grappling.
Yeah, but we love the girl, so
yeah,
we'll let the mistakes slide. The Jake Matthews, right? I don't know. I like.
What a wild motherfucker that new guy.
Flowers, yeah. But you got it. I mean, bro, step up, show up. Bang.
Dude,
good for you, bro.
He faked that standing knockout. I was like, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was like, they could have just stopped that, and I would have been mad at it. If you pretend to be out, you're out. You know, that's
the next middleweight bout was good. Then the fucking flyweights came on and took fuck these guys, man. Listen,
that wasn't even flyweight. Those are 130 pounders.
I said a flyweight bout. So it was catchweight. So they weren't even. They were.
They're
even worse. Listen, guys. If you're a heavyweight or a flyweight, the worst thing you can do is be fucking boring.
Fact.
Your divisions are too fucking thin, and flyweights. You have to justify every fucking paycheck we give you. You have to. You're tiny little dudes that fucking slap each other, and you're not interesting. So you got to make it interesting. You got to make it exciting. You got to have good technique. You got to push the pace, and you got to knock motherfuckers out. And if you can't knock them out, then you fucking submit them. Don't fucking run around and play patty cake and yay, pick me. Fuck you guys. So that fight was such shit that I missed the next fight because I got mad a lot. And that fight pissed me off, and I missed the next fight after it. And then, the light heavyweight fight pissed me off. But I did not miss the main event. So I think the main event was worth the whole thing, was worth watching the whole card. Man.
Awesome.
It didn't go the way I expected, and didn't go the way anybody expected, which made it that much more phenomenal. And Derek Lewis's flying knee, it was just come on, man. This is Christmas.
I'm going with the main event. I predicted Gagey would win. I didn't think he was going to win like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, you got to give him props for what he did, especially where it was and how he did it. It just was so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. No, indeed. Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everyone for tuning in and for listening today. Shout out to Brazil for making us right there still around the top 10 on Spotify, for keeping us there for this MMA show. We do it for you guys. Shout out Brazil. And before, of course, I let everybody, these gentlemen go, just want to share very brief here on my screen where you find these gentlemen, especially. So I'm going to go ahead and start it off with Bacon. Of course, you can find this man right here on, of course, social media. You can follow him on Twitter, Cage My IQ. Follow him on the YouTube of the Bloodline Network and Network, and also on his own YouTube channel, as he already has his UFC predictions for Vegas coming up this Saturday, which will be Garmont and is it Corey Font? So that's coming up this.
Rob Font.
Rob Font, excuse me. Thank you. I was confused the name, but yes, that's already out. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, follow Cage My IQ. Is all right below here in the description. So make sure you guys do. And of course, another one that I wanted to go ahead and share is, of course, you want to get your coaching, ladies and gentlemen, you better get your fucking coaching. Because if you don't, I don't know what the fuck you do. But besides that, you want to see the coach, you can see this man, and you can follow. And of course, coming up on September 19th, of course, happening in Fighters Rep. We have Martinez Spencer too, Ludwig Sartov, and of course, Borg and Alice coming up at the Commerce Casino. Make sure follow Coach Rage on social media and YouTube, everywhere where you can find and see him his training there. Find it all there. And get your tickets now to Fighters Rep 19th, coming to you September 19th. Ladies and gentlemen, at the Commerce Casino. For all you SoCal who are listening, California residents that are listening to this and watching this, do it now. You catch the phenomenal one right there alongside coaching and telling them how to take that rage out of that damn cage.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
My corner, it's going to be me, and it's going to be Thor. So you got Rage and Thor in the corner for these three fighters, and Martinez Spencer. That's for the title. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. But Rage and Thor, come on now. That's a match made in Valhalla.
Oh man, absolutely. And of course, the last for the best for last, El Papi Chulo, of course, where you can find this. You're more popular than me. I mean, I know I am, but it's still. That's right. For everybody, ladies and gentlemen, FDS. Also check out the new song. Check out it's right on the YouTube. Follow the descriptions below as well. You can follow FDS Band Official. Follow them, and also on YouTube. The new brand new music video is out. Check it out. The director, you'll see him rocking out with his come on, guys, to the rest. That's right. But also coming up on October 8th in Los Angeles for all your SoCal, right here at the 1720 warehouse, happening as well, as they'll be performing there as well live. I don't know, director, you have anything else before happening in October that is coming up for Fate Destroyed?
Yeah, we're playing Summit Fest in Akron, Ohio on September 16th with the Bunny the Bear, Johnny Craig, Vampires Everywhere, and a Skylit Drive. That is in Akron, Ohio at the Akron Summit Festival Fairgrounds.
When is that? What's the date on that?
That is September 16th.
September 16th?
For Ohio, and then October 8th for LA.
LA, and that's a fucking cool venue.
I love that venue.
Yeah.
We were the first band to play that venue once it opened after the pandemic.
After the scamdemic.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't wait to come back.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, it's a fucking cool joint. That's gonna be awesome, bro.
I'll see you there.
Just let me know. You will. Fuck yeah.
Probably free.
We'll be there. Hell yeah! I'm gonna be there. We're like, yeah.
I would, but I'm on the other side of the country.
Yeah, we'll fly out here. So you come.
We flew to Detroit in the middle of winter for one show, so I think you can come out here.
Yes, right, Bagley. You can come out here for once. And also follow us as well. You see the screen below on our YouTube channel. Follow us here. Subscribe. You can catch us here, especially on MMA for the Wednesdays. And we won't have another one until coming up, and that is until in 2 weeks, because August 19th, you're gonna have Coach's favorite guy, which is not his coach, it's not his favorite guy, but Skittles, of course, as Sean O'Malley will be fighting, of course, Aljamain Sterling.
Is he going to be on the podcast with us?
No, because I think you'll destroy the guy if we haven't.
See, I don't know, man. Like, I wonder about Skittles now because I've seen him on Almost Epic. Yeah. That goes without saying. But there's a YouTube channel called Epic. That was Epic.
Yeah.
Do you guys know this?
Nope. Unless it's
Ah.
Epic Game.
No. That was Epic. It's a cool little channel. Homeboy goes around just like helping people out and like giving them wads of cash and
Right.
but Sugar Skittles there was on that channel buying shit for people, and so I don't know if that's a PR stunt or if I'm changing my mind about Homeboy. So
So we'll see. We'll see. And also follow us on Twitter as well. If you're on Twitter, right there below as well on Twitter, follow us. What you can see is on Twitter. If you have any questions, go ahead. We'll have some new stuff for you guys because you'll find out once you follow us on the social media platforms there. And overall,
see, I'm not on Twitter because that's too much typing and writing and words. So
I know it is. I know it's a lot, but I want to thank everyone for tuning in. And once again, shout out to Brazil, keeping us up there in Japan. New fans in Japan, thank you guys. I hope we were able to translate for you, but thank you so much. But we appreciate you. Arigato, yes. But don't forget, follow all my familia right here. Description right below. And this Saturday, of course, Nate, Paul Diaz, or is it Jake Diaz, right? No, Paul Diaz. I mean, not Diaz. Diaz and Diaz and one of the Logan Pauls.
Jake Paul and Nate Diaz.
Yes, there you go.
Bacon, what time is it there? It's like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning.
12:45.
12:45 in the East Coast.
Close enough.
Yeah, close.
Still late.
It's still late. But once again, thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll catch you guys in 2 weeks. And until the next one, make sure you follow everybody here. We don't just podcast and talk about MMA. All of us here make fucking history. See you around, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.